Hey guys, what's up? My name is Will Weber and you are here with us on The Spin. We got a host of topics today, but first let me introduce the people that will be joining me. We got Jocelyn Simmons, our special guest Brittany Moore, and Tiffany Salome. So I think we're going to start it with the topic that really gathered the most attention this week, and that was the presidential debate. I would say it's one of the most highly anticipated political events of the year, and I don't think it disappointed. There was a lot of back and forth. To me, it came off as a slugfest. So Jocelyn, you watched the debate. What'd you think?
I think it was kind of crazy because, you had Lester Holt there being somewhat of a moderator, I guess, because he let them talk and do what they're going to do. And I think, personally, Hillary Clinton might have won better because she had a more prepared rundown, but Trump had his good points too, so I still think I'm kind of iffy of who did something.
So are you one of those people where after all of the media attention and after all of the stuff we've seen from these candidates, are you still up in the air to where these debates could decide who you vote for?
No, maybe not the debates. The commercials tied my attention more than the debates because you had to take time in the commercials. So how they portray themselves in a commercial, to me, kind of helped me decide more. They are attacking each other on stage, off stage, in the media. So, how do you decide?
The question really is who won. Polls will tell you that Trump won everywhere. But Brittany, who do you think won?
Personally, I think Hillary was much more professional and conducted herself in a much more presidential way. But at the same time, both of them got attacked, and both of them attacked the other person. Both of them interrupted. Both of them did everything that I really don't think is very presidential at all. So I don't think there was a winner. I kind of think it was kind of just a slugfest.
Well, that kind of brings it back to the question is, how much do these debates matter? Is this an actual debate where we are trying to learn about our future president? Or is this one of those things, like you said, where neither one of them win, it's just a matter of not making a fool of yourself? How much does it matter to you?
The thing is, I would love to be able to watch the debate and clearly understand, okay, I'm voting for that person. But I didn't feel that way after watching the debate. They didn't give any real, it was more just kind of back and forth at each other. Oh yeah, release your emails, release your tax returns. I don't care about that. I want to know what you guys are going to do for this country.
Yeah, it turns into a battle of sound bites, which is the fear. And then the nightly news leads with the sound bites, and it's who can get the most ratings. I think that as the debates go on, it's going to get nastier. I think it's going to end up being one of the more civilized meetings they have. Are you guys going to be tuning in for the following debates, or did you see enough right now?
I'm definitely going to be tuning into the next few debates. I want to keep myself informed, even if they're not going to say anything. I just think that it's important for everyone who's voting to watch the debates.
I think sometimes on these debates, they're talking about stuff over and over again. And like you said, saying, oh, I'm not going to do this if you do this. You do this, I'm not going to do this. But they're not saying, what exactly they're going to do. So maybe I think in the future they might have a better plan of, oh, if I win, I'm going to do this. Not, well, right now, 3 years ago you did that, so I shouldn't do this. That's how they are right now.
Right.
Do you think that falls on the responsibility of the moderator to make them answer questions like that? Or do you think it's their responsibility to stay focused on their policies?
I think the moderator plays a huge part in the debate, and he needs to be the one cutting their mics off when Hillary or Donald decide to ramble on when he gives them 20 more seconds, but that never really happened. Lester Holt was 20 seconds. 5 minutes later, Trump is still babbling, so I don't know.
How do you think Lester Holt did?
I think at the beginning he was trying to cut them off, but I feel like he just kind of got frustrated. And so at the end, or towards the middle, towards the end, he was if Trump asked for more time, he was okay, but then we have to move on. But at the beginning, he was actually trying to fight for it to be ordered still. And then I feel like it just kind of fell apart once they kept cutting him off.
See, I'm of the opinion that when it comes to these kind of topics and this serious of a debate, I don't mind if they go over the scheduled 2 minutes, because a lot of these topics require a lot more breaking down and nuance than 2 minutes will allow. You look at a TV segment, you only get 3 to 4 minutes, and you can't get all your points in. So I don't mind if they go on and they ramble, but what I can't stand is when you got the two of them talking over each other and it just becomes like a peeing match at each other. I'd rather it be more structured and have a back and forth, and when it's like that, I don't think the time limits matter as much. I think they can be more flexible. But when it just becomes a matter of who can talk more, that's when it really disintegrates.
Mm-hmm. So coming off from national news, I wanted to talk to you guys about that UNF employee who was murdered last week. He was murdered in a home invasion, they say, but new information has come out that says that his murder was orchestrated from a jail cell. Now, the whole story is complicated, and anyone who wants to know more information can obviously go on Spinnaker.com. But do you think that because it was orchestrated from a jail cell, Brittany, they're on the phone, they're saying, hey, I need you to kill this guy because he's going to testify in trial against me. Do you believe that cell phone calls should be moderated in the jails?
Yeah, I feel like it was actually the jail's responsibility to moderate that. I mean, they're supposed to censor the mail. They're supposed to be watching the prisoners or inmates when they're communicating with the outside world, but they didn't do that. This guy got murdered pretty much because of this, because they didn't know ahead of time.
When you go to prison, granted, you give up a lot of the rights you have as a citizen, and you do become property of the state, in essence. But to ask them to moderate every phone call and listen to every bit of dialogue that goes back and forth in every jail, I feel like that's just implausible. They had the records, they went back and they listened, and it helped them get the conviction. But this is such a just anomaly, and this is just such a weird case. I don't think we can expect the jails to change how they act or how they monitor phone calls just because this one case.
Right, but a life could have been saved. I understand that they can't moderate every single phone call, but I feel like keywords can be moderated. Like if someone says the word, kill or come on.
But do we know if he said kill? I could say, hey, Jocelyn, I need you to take this guy out.
Right.
What keyword did I use there?
Nothing.
So that's kind of, it sounds nice, but these guys in jail, I think it was absolutely mind-blowing that he thought he would get away with it through a jail call. Every normal person knows they're recorded. Everyone knows that they're going to listen to those, but I just can't think of a feasible way to monitor the calls and to pick up on stuff like that. It was a tragic scenario that I wish could have been avoided, but sometimes tragedies happen.
I think they need to have some type of system though to know, okay, this happened, maybe they might do this. So if you have some type of protocol to say if this person goes to jail for this, we should do this. Or if they do this before they come to jail, they need to be on this list. Like for the airports, you're on different lists already. So they can do that for TSA and stuff. I'm pretty sure they have some type of funding to do it with a jail.
So if someone gets convicted of a certain crime or higher, they'd be on your phone calls are always getting listened to list?
Yeah.
Okay, so would burglary be on that
list? I feel
list?
like burglary still wouldn't be on that list though. That's the thing. I feel like in this scenario, it still wouldn't apply, but at least there would have been, they could say, well, we have this protocol for this situation. Because if you think about it, most rules get changed because something has happened before, not because nothing happened. So I feel like now they might change that rule to say, because I'm saying we record your phone calls, but you see recording them and listening to them are two different things. Like you can record a phone call a day and not listen to it.
Right.
You can make the argument because you hear about people like the drug lords who are still moving dope out of jail and prison. So there's an argument to be made. I just don't know how you'd get those resources when it's known that our jails and our prisons are already underfunded, undermanned, and overcrowded.
I think it also comes down to it was right before his trial, right before someone was going to be testifying against. So I feel like it's more dangerous of a situation, and that's when it should be monitored when something could happen.
Well, it truly is a tragedy, but we will have to take you guys to break, so we'll see you back on. In the meantime, if you guys have any suggestions for what you want us to talk about, email entertainmentnews@UNF-Spinnaker, and we'll see you soon.
Attention students! Spinnaker is proud to announce the launch of its new streaming service. Now, no matter where you are on campus, you can watch any Spinnaker movie with just the click of a button for free. So whether you're alone in your dorm, studying in the library, or hanging out with some friends, you will always have some of the best box office hits ready to watch. You can access this streaming site by going to movies.spinnakertv.com and clicking on the movie you would like to watch. So make some popcorn, pull up a chair, and enjoy your movie with Spinnaker Television.
Welcome back, you guys. So Sunday morning when we woke up, we awoken to tragic news, I think one of the saddest stories of the year. Jose Fernandez, he was a 24-year-old pitcher for the Miami Marlins, one of the top 10 pitchers in the game. And early Sunday morning, he died. He was riding his boat, and he crashed into the jetties, killing him and 2 other people. He was known around the league because he played with a boy-like emotion. His players said that he seemed like he was still playing in the little leagues when he got up to the majors. He just played with a love for the game. It was one of the sad stories, but it also gave us one of those moments where sports brought people together over a tragedy. In the first game, they canceled the game when the day had happened. But in the first game back, the Marlins leadoff hitter, on the very first at-bat, hit his first home run of the season. And after the game, he said, "That's the farthest ball I've ever hit. If you don't believe in God, there's something wrong with you." So it was one of those moments where sports was able to bring a group of guys together over a tragedy. Just to add another layer of sadness, his wife is also pregnant, and she put a post on Instagram saying, this is supposed to be the start of our journey. So I can't really remember anything happening like this recently that tugged at our heartstrings like this, but how would you guys carry on if you lost someone close to you and you had to carry on through your job? Would you be able to perform?
I think it would take me quite a bit of time to actually go back. I never understand how people can go back to work like after a week. Like that's not enough time to really process and be able to like function. Like if I lost someone that close to me, I really don't think I'd be able to like think about my job for probably a long time.
And another thing we need to touch on is, has the game actually changed, because of this? You mentioned the home run. And Jocelyn, do you think it's changed?
I think for their team specifically, they probably have something to play for. Like my friend, he plays for the University of Nebraska, and they lost their punter in like an accident. So they've been playing each game for that person. So I feel like the Marlins would do the same thing. They're playing for a purpose to win for this young man. Even though he's not here anymore, they're playing to like win probably more than they would have been if he had been here.
Yeah, and when you think of when the news hit, everyone was doing their own individual thing, and everyone had their own specific grief. They had their own things they had to go through. But when you get on the field and you start playing the game that you love and the game that connected you with that person, that could be the only time where you're not thinking about it. Brett Favre, he lost his father, and in his first game back, he had one of the best games of his career. So when you're able to block out that memory because you're doing something you love and something you care about, I think that is an explanation for why the crazy happened in that game right after it. As far as the game changing, I don't think the game itself is going to change. I think that, like you said, now that, I wouldn't say they have something to play for, but they have just that extra motivation in everything they do and their preparation because they realize that this can be taken from you like that. There's something to be said for physically watching something get taken away from you.
It really is so sad that, a young life was taken just because of a last-minute decision.
And it's just like there's so many levels to it because he was also a Cuban immigrant. He tried to defect from Cuba 3 times unsuccessfully and was thrown in prison in Cuba. On his 4th trip, where he finally made it, he jumped into the water to save his mom who was drowning and swam with her to shore. She held onto his back and he carried her to shore. So it's like a life began to prosper in the water and then it came full circle and ended in the water. It's just a really sad story.
So do you guys think that because of like a boating accident, do you think boating safety will get aware more, like how to ride the boat safely? Because he wasn't wearing the life vest. So do you think that would be more awareness for people to wear life vests and like going out not as late at night?
I think at the beginning, people will start to be more aware and they'll start to focus. But like any tragedy, after a while, the shock's going to wear off and the little extra mile that you're going to take, like wearing a life vest if you don't normally wear one, I feel like after a little bit of time, people will start to forget. Of course, not the people really close to him, but the people in general, I feel, won't focus as much on it.
Yeah. So, guys, I'm going to take us to a lighter note here. I know this is all so sad, but on campus, we've actually had freshman housing requirement come to an end. And this means that basically you don't have to live on campus. It's your choice. You want to live on campus? Go ahead. If not, personally, I think I would have loved this to be my freshman year. I didn't have to live here, because I'm from Jacksonville. I would have loved to, stay at home with mom for one more year. So, Jocelyn, how do you think, how would this have affected you as a freshman?
It would have saved me some money. That's how it would have affected me. Because we put out like at least $5,000 trying to live here. And I live 10 minutes from your school. So my freshman year, my mom was pissed. Like, we paying money to live on campus when I can be at home like I am now. So I think that would save people money. Like, I know you live on campus. Would that save you money if you had the option to not have to live here?
It definitely would have saved me money, but at the same time, I'm from 3 hours away and I didn't know anyone. So I'm actually kind of for the freshman housing requirement because I feel like even if you live really close, living on campus gives you a different experience. Like, I have friends that if they would have lived off campus, we never really would have been friends, just because it's a different experience living right next to all of your classmates than living at home, because I feel like it is really good experience for people, and I feel like now people are going to take the easy way out. And it's not really easy. I mean, it does save you a lot of money, but you have to travel to school and everything. But I feel like people are going to lose an opportunity almost.
Yeah, it's like, how much value do you put into that opportunity? Like, how much would you be willing to pay to have that opportunity? And while I completely get your point, and I think freshman housing should be a priority, I don't think there should be a requirement forcing you to live somewhere. I know I went to school about 10 minutes away from UNF, and a lot of the kids I went to school with chose to go to different places because of the housing requirement. I know a lot of kids who went to FSCJ for 2 years because they didn't want to live on campus for that first year. So while the school might have made money forcing kids to live on campus, I think we're going to see enrollment go up a lot, and I think we're going to have a student body that grows as a result of this requirement being washed away.
You know what? I think freshman housing requirements are okay for universities like FSU or UF, but when you force people to live on a commuter campus, I mean,
Yeah.
I lived on campus my freshman year. Saturday and Sunday, this place was a ghost town.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't even find something to eat if it wasn't, middle of the day and the cafe wasn't open. So really, forcing people to live on a commuter campus is not fair.
Do you think it makes you a more productive adult, though, having to live here without your parents? You have to find food and like knowing to get up for class and all that.
I don't think.
I think it forces you to sink or swim. You're either going to be a productive adult, or you're going to find yourself back in mom's house next year going to a different school because you couldn't handle it. That's one of the main reasons a lot of kids drop out of college, is not because they can't handle the course, but because they can't handle the day-to-day responsibilities of living on their own, doing their own laundry, feeding themselves, and staying on track. So it forces you to be more productive if you can handle it, and productivity is always key. So it was a kind of a dark show, you guys. We had a busy weekend, we had a couple murders, but I'm glad we could get together and talk about it and express our opinions. If you guys can, follow us on Twitter or like us on Facebook at UNF Spinnaker. We will be here every Wednesday at 7 o'clock, bringing you the latest, hottest news from around campus and around the world. But on our way out, I want you to enjoy this viral video we chose for you guys, and have a great week. Peace.
Gordon has started to look like the D. Gordon of last year. Gordon to right. It's